Hello everyone, and welcome to our 2021 Veterans Day Assembly. I am honored to be speaking to you today on such an important occasion. We are here today to honor our service members and to remember the sacrifices they have made and the courage it takes to defend our country. Please stand and remove your hats as our Kelso High School Chamber Choir sings the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see why the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave.
Today is the day we honor the noble and the brave, the men and women who dedicated their lives and the sacrifices they have made. When America had an urgent need, they were the first to raise their hand, without thinking twice about it. They are proud to take a stand. Some came back from the war with battle scars, others in flag-draped coffins. Even though their flesh draped may have left, their spirits will never be forgotten. They unselfishly and knowingly put their lives on the line. So when you see a veteran, thank them, because without them, freedom would have died.
I would now like to introduce our Kelso High School Band and Concert Choir as they perform the Armed Forces Salute.
We will now honor the lost soldiers from our area.
World War I, Army. Rocco Calabrese, killed in action February 5, 1918. Artie G. Crum, died from wounds received in action July 25, 1918. Sergeant Fern M. Master, pneumonia at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, October 26, 1918. Guy S. Rathbun, killed in action in France, October 1, 1918. Fred Rube, died in France, August 14, 1918. Oliver Springer, killed in action, 1918. Corporal Lester Van Fleet, died of pneumonia in Alaska, November 16, 1918. World War II, Army. Private Edwin R. Jack Ames, paratrooper, died of wounds in prisoner of war camp, February 22, 1945. Clifford Audent, died of action in Italy, April 26, 1945. Charles D. Bowie, killed in action on Corridor, May 5, 1942. Private First Class Jack J. Chambers, killed in action on Luzon, May 17, 1945. Private Marvin A. Chamel, paratrooper, killed in action in Belgium, January 7, 1945. Lieutenant Colonel Willard E. Chin, died from illness in San Francisco, June 9, 1943. Private Rodman F. Clark, killed in action in Italy, June 1944. Sergeant Roy K. Cole, killed in action in the Mediterranean area, November 1943. Private First Class Harold Collins, died of wounds in Luzon, May 23, 1945. Glenn Eaton Dilley, MP at Fort Lewis, killed in auto while on duty at the Boeing plant in Seattle, October 4, 1942. Private Robert H. Ellis, Medical Battalion, died in Battle of Otto, May 29, 1943. Private First Class Alvin P. Gray, infantry killed in action in Germany, December 1, 1944. Private Claude Harold Hansen, Combat Engineers Battalion, died at Camp Van Dorn, Mississippi, September 8, 1944. Corporal Robert J. Hansen, killed in action in Germany, April 9th, 1945. Private First Class Lee Hartcom, killed in action in Cortagor, Philippines, 1942. Private First Class Alvin Ralph Hatton, prisoner of war, May 1942. Lost in sinking of Japanese prisoner ship, December 15, 1944. Private First Class Richard L. Lizen, killed in action in Italy, July 1944. Private First Class Earl C. Spackman, died of wounds received on Polio Island, November 23, 1944. Private Werner Streich, killed in action in the Philippines, December 10, 1944. Private First Class Charles C. Tooley, killed in action in Italy, February 15, 1944. Army Air Force. Walter Pierce Chambers, flight officer, killed in action over Philippines, January 10, 1945. First Lieutenant Lyle C. Ethel, cargo plane pilot, killed in action in the Indian-China Theater, February 1945. Sergeant Richard Goldsmith, aerial gunner, killed in action, Italy, March 19, 1944. Clifford N. Koski, prisoner of war, May 7, 1942. Died of malaria in Japanese prison camp, May 8, 1944. Second Lieutenant Edwards J. LeBerg, killed in Florida accident, October 23, 1943. Lieutenant Chester D. McAllister, bomber pilot, killed in action over France, March 29, 1944. Sergeant Robert Henry McDonald, gunner on bomber, lost over Germany, August 17, 1943. First Lieutenant George W. Seckard, died in airplane accident in Alaska, March 25, 1944. Jack H. Soph, died in a plane crash in Louisiana, May 26, 1945. Sergeant W. Earl Strasser, radio man and gunner, killed in action in South Pacific, July 1942. Second Lieutenant Arthur N. Westrom, bomber pilot, killed in action over Adelbert, England, February 9, 1944. Coast Guard. Walter L. Pringle, Coast Geotech Survey, killed in Oshkosh, Alaska, September 3, 1945.
Marines. Private Leonard J. Jr. Allnut, killed in action in Iwo Jima, March 10, 1945. Lieutenant P.F. Fred Gillies, died of wounds received in battle from the Solomons, December 1943. Sergeant Floyd A. Clem, killed in action on Iwo Jima, February 22, 1945. Sergeant Major Edgar C. Krager. Private Francis W. Mall. Private First Class Francis E. Frank Roberts, killed in action in Guam, July 27, 1944. First Lieutenant Richard Sloat, Tank Corps, killed on Sepang, July 1944. Navy. Pharmacist Mate Second Class John Dale Bailey, killed in action on Iwo Jima, February 1945. Seaman First Class John Lawrence Jack Gillies, lost in sinking of USS Hull in Battle of Lake Gulf, October 25, 1944. Aviation Ord 1C Howard Stanley Hasbrook, killed in plane crash, 1944. Aviation Machinist Mate 2C Marshall E. Eisenberg, killed in airplane crash in San Diego, February 17, 1944. Seaman 1C Leroy Martin Sony Major, Amphibious Corps, killed in action in Okinawa, April 19, 1945. Fire Controlman 3C Robert T. Markshausen, killed in action in South Pacific, October 1944. Eisen Frank R. Parrish, died following operation in Utah Hospital, January 10, 1944. Lieutenant Samuel Christian Peterson, pilot and navigator, killed in action in South Pacific, April 19, 1944. Seaman First Class Clinton L. Poe, MIA in South Pacific aboard a destroyer, December 1944. Aviation radioman 3C Glenn Edward Ray, plane failed to return from patrol flight after Aleutian Islands, June 3, 1942. Arthur Edward Robinson, lost on plane mission over Bay of Biscay, March 20th, 1944. Charles T. Jr. Williams, MIA, following combat duty. Navy Air Corps. Lieutenant Cyrus George Carey, pilot, lost in action near Guadalcanal, July 9, 1943. Carmen J. Jacobson, pilot, killed in plane crash in South Pacific, December 1944. Korean War. Lieutenant Wallace Edward Flankley, pilot, died in plane crash in Texas, February 5, 1954. Lieutenant John Lockwood, pilot, died in plane crash while on training mission in Alaska. Army. First Lieutenant Edwin E. Adams, killed in action, September 1, 1950. Captain Charles Merlin Day, killed in action, September 17, 1950. Sergeant Robert Glenn Harris, killed in action, January 18, 1951. Private First Class William A. Mashin, died while POW in Korea, November 1950. Private Robert L. Story, died of pneumonia at Camp Robert in California, July 20th, 1953. Navy. Milton Reed Jack Pratt, killed at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, 1952. Vietnam War. Army. Chief Warrant Officer Mark W. Eveland, killed in action in Tay Ninh, August 16, 1969. Private First Class Billy Bob Lyer, died of wounds received in action at Hauniga, December 15, 1969. Spec 4 Keith Olson, killed in action in Tay Ninh, June 20, 1969. Sergeant William Dale Secor, killed in action in Bindon, July 2, 1970. Staff Sergeant Albert Hugh Smith, killed in action at Bindon, January 16, 1967. Marines. Lance Corporal William Arnold Beckwith, killed in action in Quang Tri, July 4, 1968. Corporal Harvey Richard Sanders died of wounds in Quang Tin, May 12, 1967.
Please rise for a moment of remembrance. Pause as we take a moment of silence for those who have fallen for our freedom. Thank you. You may be seated. As we continue this moment of remembrance, I would love to introduce our orchestra as they perform Amazing Grace.
Now here's a poem by Cheryl Dyson. On Veterans Day we honor all who answered to a service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We are proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
Thank you everyone for taking part in our 2021 Veterans Day Assembly. To our veterans and their families, thank you. Please welcome our show choir singing My Country, 'Tis of Thee to close our assembly.
My country, 'tis